first thing to do is, pledge allegiance, please. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right, roll call to my right.
John Bear.
Kent Gross. Minutes from our previous meeting.
I reviewed them and
Look good there.
I'll move to approve the August 22nd, 2022 meeting minutes as presented.
I got a motion, I will second that. I have a motion to second to approve our August 22nd meeting minutes there. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 2-0. Moving on, some old business. Don't see anything on the old business schedule tonight.
No old business today.
Old business tonight? All right.
You know, that was outside of that came on store and do something today.
The old business, we'll move on to some new business.
New business, first item is encroachment request. Encroachment 3216-2022 at 993 Mason Lane, which is Highland Knoll, section 1, lot 7. This is a request by the property owner to put in some fill in the rear yard section within P&UE. Property actually backs to pond and pond 450 West and 3 North. There are no utilities in the area. It appears the fill will be outside of the 100-year elevation on pond. This was a little more than normal. The question request, which I want to bring this to the board for review. We do have the property over here. If you have any questions,
So just a couple quick questions that I had. How far over the existing property boundary are we looking to take the fill? Is it just dirt fill, is it?
How far over the boundary? I don't understand what you're asking.
Yeah, how far are you gonna encroach into the,
I was planning on putting the retaining wall right on the property line
okay,
at the pond there.
okay.
And they're gonna require, I think they said 5 feet.
So the retaining wall's right on the property line then.
I told them I can hold that six inches off the property line. The reason for that being that I don't have enough room to actually fit a pool in there. The pools are like 15 by 16 or 16 foot wide by 30 foot long.
Yes.
And if you take all the measurements with what I've got, putting a 10-foot deck in, 3 foot of sidewalk around the pool, that puts it right into the, the retaining wall being 6 inches off the property line.
Yes.
So, I'm gonna have to shorten everything up to get it down in a standard size pool in there anyway.
So this is right on the pond. We don't have any utilities in the area, correct?
correct, no utilities in the area. There are, I don't know if there's structures, I don't believe the structures in the side yard, but I think we're. But, yeah, there's a power line on the
Yes, so there's a fountain in there.
west
Yeah, there's a
line.
fountain, and then pond that runs through right in the, supposedly it's in the center of that property line. That's where they've got the outlet, coming up the, whatever you want to
All
call
right
it.
there.
He's proposing to keep that wall out of the side easements.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll maintain the easement on each side there. I
Okay.
told Joe that I'd like to come a little closer on it would be the west side?
Yeah.
Or the east side, I'm sorry. They got 10 foot on the east side. I would like to have gotten that a little closer to make it more uniform, on 5 foot on each side, but he says with that storm drain being in there, it'd probably be a good idea to leave that 10 foot. So,
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say,
that's no problem. I mean, it is what it is.
I can ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
If, so our standards call out for the distance from pond maintenance beyond the 100-year elevation. I think it's a 30-foot.
I don't remember what the 100-year elevation is off the top of my head.
Yeah, I would have, they're looking at the water as it sits today in the picture on Beacon to say, is there existing easement outside of the property limits that, meet our requirements generally? I mean, that's what the manual says, that's what we typically look at when we're reviewing the ponds. There's the specific language that says the drainage easement or, some language that makes that statement for pond maintenance. So that's the only thing that pops in my head looking at this, but you have to look at the plans probably to see if we're.
That's above the 100-year, not the normal pool.
This picture here probably shows an abnormal pool, probably, what it looks like.
Yeah, sure.
That's the open culvert and stuff there.
She said 100-year or 30 feet from.
I think if I recall the text exactly, it's been a while since I looked at it, but I believe it's 30 feet from the 100-year is the required easement area for pond maintenance. So I guess that would be a concern is that the 25 feet that's shown there is just that.
That totals a 30-foot, you're saying, is what you're.
Yeah, if it includes maybe 5 foot of it's beyond. your
Right,
property
I see
line.
what you're saying.
Yeah, that really that's the reason for the 25-foot easement versus, sometimes it's code related and it'll be because you have a property line, you have a 25-foot setback. And a lot of times maybe they'll just call that drainage utility anyway, right? So it's a rear property line or whatever, has less use than this specific language in the standards for maintenance of the pond. I'm sorry I didn't look at that earlier to comment on it before we had the meeting, Joe.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see your 25, I see that little 25-foot drainage easement now there, indication of the back of the property line.
So what do you think the risk is?
Well, then that doesn't necessarily dictate that the board can't waive it anyway. It's just,
That risk
Purpose
kind of
being-
falls on the homeowner at that point, right?
well, so ponds in general, the pond itself is homeowner association maintenance and the board, in the past, that's one of the reasons you don't take care of ponds, right?
Yeah.
Stormwater board doesn't want to take care of ponds, but they still enforce certain standards on the ponds for the homeowner association then to be responsible for that. So, in essence, then that would fall back on the homeowner association to be able to maintain it without that need. And the pond is a water quality structure theoretically too that is supposed to be maintained for water quality, but as a BMP. Yeah, well, the pond itself provides water quality.
comes out of the law.
Yeah.
So your renewal pool, E26, fire for the 2872. I don't have a scale on this. I can't put it on the screen, so.
Right, our standards, well, let's say, at the worst case scenario, when it's 100 pool elevation, wherever that elevation is, they want 30 feet of main. Yeah, so that's what Joe's trying to figure out. Yeah.
I see.
That-
Now I kind of understand what you're talking about. It's all broken code for me anyway.
With the construction plans, if we had those, and that's what he's probably pulling that.
Right.
Look at that.
I have no idea. So, I get it. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen that plan, that looked pretty good.
Well, it doesn't. No, it really doesn't. With all the rain that we've had, I kind of kept an eye on it. You mentioned it. I mean, it's got a manhole, I guess you would call it. It's got like two different holes. This is a high hole. And it's a low hole. It only goes so high. This one required drains it all out, so it really doesn't get that high. Keeps it off.
And that's all part of the request?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll move to approve encroachment request ENC -003-216-2022.
All right, I will second that motion now. So I've got a motion and a second to approve the encroachment request, ENC -003-216-2022. That's 993 Missile Lane, Holland Knoll, lot number 7. Any further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion passes 2-0.
When I get the agreement ready, we'll let you know, and you can come and sign it, and get a report.
Sounds like a plan to me. I'll thank you, sir. You guys have a good afternoon or good evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, next item up there.
Next item, we had a request from a business in town, it's called Fat House Fabrications. I don't really have anything in the packet for that. They're out on Old State Road 37. They actually run a fabrication shop for high performance parts for Shelby's, Mustangs, and F-150s. Really cool, if you want to check them out. I was watching a YouTube video of a 1250 horsepower Shelby they made. They're actually replacing one of the buildings for expanding fabrication operation, repainting the parking lot. Their concern is they're seeing a lot of road grit and wash coming from across Old State Road 37.
Okay.
So they've kind of asked us for some help in what to do out there. What I'm looking for is just an okay from the board that we're willing to help them in some way, be it, I don't know if it's purchase materials, have them do work to intercept that storm drain. Okay. Of course, it's over the spend limit.
Yeah, gotcha. All right.
We need far more.
I think we're okay there. Yep,
Good.
we're good.
So the next item is a project that came up with the utilities, the sanitary utilities. They discussed estimates this afternoon and have a chance to send them out. They're looking at lining the sanitary system in 3-notch.
Yeah.
With our issues out there, I saw this as a good opportunity to perhaps rehab some of our storm systems out there, piggyback on that project. So we identified the main line. There's one main line that runs through the middle of 3-notch that is corrugated metal pipe. Brian's done 3 repairs on it over the past few years. So we're looking at having food waste televise that for us. So I finalized that. We anticipate that coming right around $2,500. Strand is actually worked on an estimate for geopolymer lining of that line, which is 1,000 to 1,100 feet, and $374.50 a foot. $411,200 for the main line. Of course, I would have to work with Baker Tilly, to make sure we have the budget for this. I would anticipate this to come out of 22 and 23 project funding for the utility. Of course, this would be a big project for us. It's a little more than the rear yard drain or something like that. I think this gives us the opportunity to put some life back into, it's up to a 54-inch old pipe that comes through there. It's put in the 70s. So of course it's rotten, it's rusted. My hope is that this process would give it some more life, give it some more structure, so we don't have to go through. The majority of this line is through rear yards, side and rear yards.
Yeah.
So any replacement of this would just cause major disruption.
Is that the same stuff that you're doing in the sewer line?
No.
Or is that inserted pipe that SDR, inserted the SDR 35?
I haven't had a chance to clarify with them. There's a couple different options. There's the polymer spray, and then there's a thermoform where they actually inflate basically it's the SDR 35 pipe on the inside, or it's just a new pipe. I don't know what the cost is going to be. I would anticipate that to be quite a bit more. But we really don't even know if the geopolymer is going to work until we get that televised. If it's rotten out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at what point do you start going, is it too rotten to actually support it?
Well, then, with the other material that they were talking about using,
Yeah.
you know, it's pretty cool. They use SDR 35 pipe, it's like sanitary sewer pipe. They bend it around in shapes. They heat it up to where it's potable to get into the thing. They plug it off. They shoot steam into this, and then all of a sudden, then they shoot it with air, and then it forms through the pipe, wherever it is. And then it's going to have some integrity strength to it
Yeah. It's basically a brand new pipe.
instead of a
Yeah.
spray lining that's not giving us any strength whatsoever.
Yeah, the geopolymer, I think the geopolymer, what they explained to me, would give us a little bit, but not a lot. There's still be more repairs that need to be made. And we just don't know what shape the bottom of that pipe is until we televise it. I'd anticipate the bottom to probably be gone and most of that pipe being 35 years old.
So, yeah.
So yeah, there's an update on that. So it's kind of a new project for you. I think we talked about it a little bit in the past. Doing it with the sanitary, I think saves us a lot as far as mobilization, demobilization. It's going to give us a better bid price, I'm sure.
So Strand is designing,
Yes.
and then we'll bid it, well, depending on what comes back with television, and then
I'll start working with Baker Tilly on this number for budgeting purposes to make sure that we're within our realm of possibility. I'm not just bringing way above what we're capable of. And go ahead and put out the bid if that's our board. And if it comes back too high, we can always reject the bid.
That's fine.
And my thought is we bid it both ways. We bid the geopolymer and then as an alternate that thermal form to see what the cost difference is.
So, when they run the camera down this thing there, who's the one that makes the ultimate decision as to whether it's integrity pipe? What's that?
I think once we got that video, we can give it the Strand, make that determination.
there's an actual rating.
Is there a rating they come back from that?
The PACP or whatever rating system, they will apply to, yeah. Like roads are basically.
We're used to that.
that approach.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah. I'll bring back updates as we get through this. I don't know when they're gonna bid it. I wouldn't imagine the bid would be due for the next storm meeting. Usually it's at least a 30-day bid period, so. I think storms, sanitary's gotta go through the same exercise we are. Okay, here's an estimate. Are we gonna be able to do this? Are we gonna break it up?
Works for me.
As far as, I think it's doable. Jump to the, I think there's an 8.5 by 11 sheet that has the line has highlighted.
You know, filed it.
Yeah. There's fences.
Well, do it all, once we get the videos, actually, maybe the worst ones, we could start chipping away and everything like that too, whatever our budget for out.
So the question might be, is how does this align with our master plan?
This is one of the projects.
This is one of the projects here, it looks like it's a 3 drainage.
Or this would align with one of our goals.
Yeah. All righty, we'll continue forward.
Yeah, if you look at one of the treasury reports, kind of moving a little bit forward, so association with the project. Between our operating balance, our improvement balance, pretty good shape to get that done.
I have the floor for a minute.
Yep.
We need to talk about the Carlisle Street easement, that runs back through there. We're gonna have to do something. We need to do it soon. I was hoping we was gonna get the development that was gonna take care of a problem for us. We haven't. I don't know where we're at with new development.
The project's moving forward. There are still in some preliminary design phases with the developer at the corner. This purchase, the other parcel comes up behind Carlisle Street.
Yep.
Southbound Carlisle, that area. So they're working on revamping that whole building.
You know, summertime drought, we haven't had a problem with having pump water, but when it comes into wintertime again, we're gonna be having pump water to, you know, I don't care if we, you know, have to do that, if we got something that's coming down the line, but we gotta have something coming down the line, or we're gonna forget here and do something. It won't be an easy fix, no matter what.
What do you typically do when you pump water? It's right there at the
I pump it around the corner down the south fall one where it'll dump into the ditch and then move on south. Yeah, we got
Any idea on the time frame?
You know,
That's too expensive to sit on. So.
Yeah.
you know, if we had something that they said, hey, we're buying a property and gave us the easement to run something where we don't have to purchase an easement would be another thing, would be a good solution. But coming up that easement, it's gonna be painful. So I know that's what we haven't done anything yet, but, you know, and that's got to stay on the radar of what's going on.
But agree. agreed, yeah, we know that's a source of environment.
Hey,
Yeah, we got kind of, got lucky this year with rains. We had it 4 or 5 inches there, coming down an hour type stuff there. On the list so far.
as long as the precipitation just falls this winter, all in snow, we'll be all right.
I need to hold off until Thanksgiving.
They purchased that property. Now, Copper Grove, LLC is saying. I can't imagine we're purchasing the property without
Plans.
moving forward to it.
Right.
I mean, that's beyond the contract, that's, our people shows it in their name. All right. Got you updated year-to-date stormwater complaint log.
Date off of here.
Nothing too big. Last couple of complaints we've gotten in are actually developer responsibility. And it's got to be set up with those developers mentally. Talk about their responsibility in fixing that. Still on bond.
How long do these dolphins typically stay under bond?
One thing on the maintenance is 3-year maintenance bond. One's a relatively small item. One item was identified at punch out. We didn't allow the durable bond to go to maintenance. So we're still under performance in this section. We recognized the issue when we did the punch out. We pressed section 4, 3, 4. So right along that north property line, there was a ditch that was never graded out properly.
Rules in the backyard.
Yeah, I just wouldn't like to provide that, just kind of FYI what's going on. There's any call-ins and complaints on. As far as other claims, I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary. Especially Brian Spencer with the solar money.
I'll move to approve the claims as presented.
All righty, I will second that. So I got a motion and a second to approve the monthly claims as presented. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 2-0. All right. Claims.
As we talked about the treasurer's report here, there's
Yes.
a sheet on the top that says fund balance report. So this is actually giving you the actual hand for the board. So as of the end of August, we have just short of 550,000 in operating balance. We have about $250,000 in sort of improvements.
All right. Yeah, we'll go fine.
See, I think if we try as much fast as we can from the mining project, we can have.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend down our operating balance. Like maintaining the 10 to 12 month operating balance reserve. But in all honesty, our operating balance is not that high on an annual basis. So the goal would be to do that project without
I did have one question. Let's talk about credit card charges. I don't think we did that.
Take away.
Figure out, I'm trying to figure out here. Bank fees and charges, debt service account. Yeah. I'm looking on these back couple pages here, basically. So these expenditure approval reports there, we're going to have a line item like the global payments, bank fees and charges.
That is the fee or the first, the town's card processing service
Yes.
charges the town to use credit cards.
Yes. So I was looking at that fee and it's like 12,000. I was thinking, well, it's almost 2,000.
It's substantial.
Yes. So I was trying to correlate that with the amount of money that we generate on our stormwater fee. And figure out exactly what percent that was we were being charged. You know what I'm saying? What are we bringing in stormwater fees? And what are we being charged credit cards in order to utilize that service?
This doesn't seem right.
So I'm saying,
Just for the simple fact, looking at July, there are 4 separate mobile payments Inc. charges
yes,
on July 29th. 196, 96, 38, 28, 917, 43, and 19, 207.
yes.
Something's not quite right there. I'll definitely
And
kind of see what's going on with that.
And I'm looking at the stormwater revenue billing system, showing that we get 30,000 a month. 29,752. That this month, let's see, period ending 8, so that's fiscal year, period ending. That's month, what month is that? Total year paid. So you try to figure out these financial things that way too many numbers. Way too many numbers on the front. I'm going to see this more. So I'm looking at the budget report here. That's what I'm looking at for the town of Carter as well. It's one that lists out all of our.
So yeah, current activity should be monthly.
So I'm reading we get $29,700 in, and we're paying $3,765 with banks fee charges on that. That's 10%. That's
Yeah,
8. That's a little, to me, that's a little rough.
it's a little.
So I'm just trying to figure out exactly what that
I will ask the question for our county department,
If you could.
and if I don't quite understand it, I'll ask them to be present next week.
All right. Because I would like to see what the other utilities are paying for their charges. They're based at 1%. What's their revenue, what's their charges?
Yeah, I'll certainly ask the question. If you have some more specific questions, send them over to me and we'll get them answered, or I'll have Mayor, may have Mayor's meeting anyway.
It's 10%, 3,000, so 12%. So. All right, that works for me. Anything else there? Roy, anything left? Anything?
Not for me.
Just a question. We had talked about looking at that pipe out at Almar, underneath the road right there, that the bottom was right out there.
Yeah.
About either replacing it or lining it. While these guys are in it, should we have them just look at that pipe as well? Should we make a determination whether it's replacement or reline it? You know what I'm saying there? What's the cost to replace it? What's the cost to reline it? There's one of the moves out there, it just brought out on the bottom up there, so.
Which might be things there, Roy? How much feet?
It's a standalone.
25?
Unfortunately, you're gonna get a low
Yeah.
route charge just to get out there
Yeah,
versus having Brian and the crew probably do it.
Because we're doing all that work with banding and stuff in the background, and might as well just to get that all taken care of and addressed.
25 feet of pipe, you're looking at over 11 grand to line it. Plus, there's an additional low fee. Their bid and unit price on mobilization is 12 grand.
There you go. Pretty much answers that one there.
On the estimate that,
I mean, it's probably 26 back-to-back, curb is normal, and then you got your toe down, so it's something longer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting right on up there.
yeah, it's pretty
It may be that Brian has no interest in doing it, but I guess that'd be a question to ask.
Keep that in mind while we're working on Bantam and trying to get that all addressed, and
Yeah,
might as well just keep that thing and kind of be done with it. Especially since your neighbors already went and put some effort into
yeah, his stuff looks pretty good. I haven't seen where
fix
it's
it too. So.
nearly got the sedimentation between the two projects being done. It seems to really settle down that issue, which is great. You know,
That's good.
nice to see a clear pond
Yeah,
instead of mud after a storm.
yeah.
I appreciate you guys staying after it, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Sounds good. Anything else? Joe, anything? Anything else? We're good? Move to adjourn. Move to adjourn. I'll second that. Got a motion and a second to adjourn. Those in favor say aye. 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 That motion passes 2-0. We are adjourned.